Hold on, still busy. Okay, I'm gonna be super serial with you guys right now. I fucking hate clubbing. I hate it. But I have been before, and I've noticed a distinct difference between the first time I went clubbing in the US and the first time I went clubbing in the UK. I make bad choices. I don't even know how to explain these stories correctly, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to do it. I'm gonna try to do it. I'm gonna try to just give it a try. The first time I went clubbing in the United States was in California, and I was 17 years old, and I went with a bunch of my gay guy friends and a few girls, and yes, of course we took a limousine to West Hollywood. What else would we have done? Get into the club, and it's exactly how I imagined a gay club to be. Teenage Dream was blaring. There were, half-naked go-go dancers everywhere. So almost immediately, I lose all of my gay friends, and I just start dancing with this one guy who, was a good dancer. And then all of a sudden, he pulls out his man part, and I get so confused. Why do you pull out your man part at the club? Not even Fitty would approve of that. I hated it. But I randomly met a girl that worked for Will Ferrell, so that's pretty cool, I guess. So when we left, 10 hours later, okay, not 10 hours, but long time later, I fell asleep in the limo. Everyone else was still raging in the limo. I was sleeping. Apparently we even stopped at Denny's to get food, but I was still sleeping in the limousine. The moral of the story is either I can't hang, or there are certain people who can survive to clubs in West Hollywood. I find the first one to be more true. I need a break. The first time I went clubbing in the UK was in Brighton, and it was at a club called Audio, I think, and I went with my American friend Nika, and the first second we walked in, she just was swooped off by some man in a business suit. I don't get it. So then after Nika goes off with the businessman, I go to the bar area to order a drink, and this really tall, muscular, tan French guy looks over at me, and he's like, I'm not gonna do a French accent. I don't know why I keep thinking I could do accents. I can't. He asked me if I wanted to take some shots with him, and I did. But he didn't speak very good English, and I speak not very good French, so 5 minutes later he ended up making out with this trashy girl. Not to be mean, but that was totally cool with me. I don't care. So then after the French experience, I go back to the bar and go to order my own drink for the first time, and then this guy is in front of me, and he's like, have you ever had a White Russian? And I was like, no, I haven't had a White Russian. And he just was like, oh my god, you haven't lived. So he orders this really strong White Russians, and we have this really one-sided conversation where he tells me that he owns a bunch of fancy bars in London, and I'm thinking to myself oh yeah, I bet you own all of the fancy double-decker buses in London too, don't you? But I didn't say that. That'd been mean. But then he went to the bathroom and he was like, wait here, and I was like, okay, cool. And then I definitely did not wait there. So I go outside to look for Nika and the businessman, and as I'm kind of looking for her, this guy comes up to me and he's like, I kind of just heard you talking, and are you from America? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm from America. And he was like, oh my god, I was just there. And I was like, oh my god, whoa, cool, man. And he was like, yeah, I was touring with my band. By the way, this is all in like posh accent, but we all know that I cannot do any accent. And I was like, oh, well, that's cool, man. And then he was like, let's go get some more drinks. And I was like, okay, cool. So then we went and got some more drinks. And then he was like, oh, I gotta meet up with my friends. I'm trying to make this story go faster because this is boring. Then he was like, oh, I gotta go meet up with my friends and meet me downstairs. And I was like, what's downstairs? So we go downstairs and then it's like the club part of the club. And I was like, whoa, underground, how cool. And I am a bit overwhelmed, but I don't really like meetups / wait for that guy to meet up with me. I just kind of go into the dance floor, and then this like really cute guy starts dancing with me, but then I notice something that is different in the UK versus the US. You see, in the US, when you're dancing at a club, it's like booty popping, grinding, I'm not gonna see your face kind of thing. But in the UK, it's like face to face. At least for me at that club at that moment. I don't know how anyone else dances. That was just my experience. But he was like staring me straight in the eyes, and it was freaking me out a lot. So then I was like, oh, I'm gonna be right back. Oh, okay, bye. And then I go to the bar to get a drink. And then this guy is at the bar and he looks really flustered. And he turns to me and he's like, have you seen my tunnel? Keep in mind this is still in posh accent, can't do it. And I'm like, no, I haven't seen your tunnel, guy. Sorry. And then he was like, here's a shot of vodka. And I was like, okay, cool, thanks. And then something weird happens, of course. The guy that I was supposed to meet was like, you're a slag, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, why are you yelling? And then Tunnels took me to the dance floor, and then we just started dancing. And it was a jolly old time. And then we started making out on the dance floor. Oh, I can't believe myself. But then soon after, I was just so drunk that I was like, I gotta get on the bus, I gotta go home. And like a gentleman, he walks me to the bus stop, and we are waiting for the bus / I am falling over, and then White Russian man and a few other guys start walking past, and then they look at Tunnels, and then White Russian man is like, the fuck, mate? That was a bad impression. And I was like, oh my god, what is going on? And then apparently, like, you know, long story short, White Russian was like telling me that Tunnels was a girl, and Tunnels was like, I'm not a girl. And then Tunnels was, I think, a girl, and just not wanting to be called a girl, which I was totally okay with. I wasn't like, oh my god, I was making out with girls the whole time, everything's changing around me, what do I do? I was just like, it was just so overwhelming. I need to go to bed. I'm just gonna get on the bus. I'm gonna get on the bus. And I got on the bus. And then I went home. And then I took a shower. So those were my experiences clubbing. And I don't know how I feel about it anymore. If someone thinks that there's a better club out there to take me to, maybe I'll go. But like, I'm a little bit traumatized.